Hey, Lyle. Just aside from Damian, just what have been your impressions of the linebacker room so far, and just kind of what you've seen from them this first week of camp?
Improved. A couple things. The one thing that I thought everybody was missing, the thing that they were missing, I think they improved. Like, for example, I didn't know how physical Noah was going to be. That was the one thing. He was always a smart and heady kid in the right position, made some plays. I didn't know how physical he was going to be, and he's had a really physical camp, which is really good to see. And then the same thing, J-Lock is a very physical kid, not always in the right. Now he's getting himself in the right position. So I think everybody in that group has made some good strides.
Right side with Dolan.
Yeah, Coach, I wanted to ask you, you brought up linebacker specifically about Ray Coney coming in, wearing the same number as Torian, potentially replacing a 3-year starter. And, what have you seen from him? Is he what you thought he'd be?
He's everything I thought he'd be. Yeah, he's 6'1", he's 240 plus. He's loose and athletic, and he's a thumper. You can see why he had the tackles he had. When you guys first asked me about him before spring practice, I really had no idea. All I knew was what I watched on tape. So you didn't really see it. But now that he's been here for a minute, he's starting to figure it out. He's going to be a hell of a player.
Right side with David, and then back to Alex.
Well, how do you balance between creating havoc and pressure, but also not putting your defense in a vulnerable spot? Because I know you guys want to be aggressive.
Yeah, that's a good question. Sometimes you just, and I'm learning this as we go, and when you're starting to see it, you're trying to adapt to who you are as a football team. I think we've got havoc makers up front on the front four, and sometimes it's less is more. I guess with just let these guys go, take things off their plate, take thinking off their plate, and let them just go create havoc. And again, you've got to adapt to your personnel, and that's what we're trying to do.
Right, or left side with Alex.
I think we're talking with Anto Saka tomorrow. Just
Yep.
I think he was named to Feldman's freak list yesterday too. Just what have you seen from him this offseason that maybe validates that, and maybe what you've seen to
What was he named?
Bruce Feldman's freak list?
Okay,
And just
I missed that one.
Okay.
What's that? What exactly is a freak list?
He physical, guys that have really crazy
Okay.
physical numbers, testing,
Okay,
size,
gotcha,
that kind of thing.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, he's a physical kid. He can run fast. He uses his hands. He's violent. Yeah, I absolutely see that.
I guess, how have you seen him grow in his game this offseason as he's been in y'all's system particularly?
Yeah, I think just the system he played at Northwestern, the system we're playing here, it's completely different for him. It took him a couple practices in the spring to get it going, but once we got to fall camp, he's playing both sides, the end and the jack for us. He can do it all. He's just a really smart kid. Really pleased with his progress.
Stand left side with Cade.
Hey, Coach. I just want to ask you a little bit about the nickel position.
Yep.
From your perspective, what have you observed from that group, 1 week into fall camp?
Yeah, we got 3 guys right now, 3 or 4 guys competing there right now. Obviously, Jay Shaw played a lot for us late last season. He's had a good camp. Bravion and Bryce Anderson actually have been both playing there as well. Both doing a nice job so far.
Right side with Travis.
Hey, Lyle. Curious your thoughts on kind of how the cornerback battle has squared away, and especially kind of in improvements that Julio Humphrey maybe has made from last year.
Yeah, this is a good problem. We have a good problem right now. Julio has elevated his game. He's gotten more confident, better playing the ball in the air. Dez is Dez. We missed him all spring and he's back and he's doing well. And then you've got, you throw Rick into the mix, and you throw some young guys into the mix too that they're pretty good as well. So we've got a good problem at corner right now.
Right side with Carter.
Lyle, just want to ask you about Damian. Just how impressed have you been with him to be able to get back kind of as soon as he is, to kind of get back to where he's out there, and what has it been like for him, this kind of time off for him?
It shows how mature the kid has become. I mean, he is a grown man. The way he's handled this all the way through, he's just been a complete pro about it. He works his tail off every day. He stays locked in meetings, you know, and walkthroughs and practice. He's like, you know, not getting all the reps he wants to get just yet, but you know, his time is coming. I mean, he's getting really close to 100%, which is really good. But he's been really good for the younger guys too. I'm really impressed with how he's handled this thing.
You talked a little bit about Jordan Shaw. I think Coach Elko talked about the job he did against Malachi Toney.
Yeah.
Wanted to ask you just like what you remember about that, and what do you think he's capable of this season?
Like the thing I remember about the Malachi Toney is I don't remember anything about it because nothing really, you know what I mean? He just covered him which was really impressive. You know, obviously we did a lot of things around because that guy, you know, he's special. But we did a lot of things around him. But he played a really, really good game, and I think that gave us a lot of confidence going in this year with him. You're starting to see the same thing. I mean, he's a heady kid, so you know he's naturally physically gifted and all that stuff. But he's a good football player, and he can do a lot of different things.
Stay on the right side with Travis.
For you personally, what's been the thoughts, emotions heading into your first fall camp as a DC here, and does it represent any kind of milestone to you, or is it just kind of another thing?
Right now, I'm neck deep in it, and I'm head down, going to work, trying to get these guys as good as we can. Not really looking at the big picture or myself. I'm just, how do we get these guys better? How do we improve these guys every day? How do we take a step, you know, towards our goal every day, trying to meet our standard? You know, I'm just, you know, all eyes on the mission.
Left side with Alex.
Yeah, it just seemed like forcing turnovers has been something your players have talked about being a point of emphasis this offseason. Just,
Right.
you know, what have been maybe the signs through this first week to practice that y'all are making strides, or is that something you're still working on?
No, that's something that we have worked on all season. I mean, I can't even imagine how many more balls we've caught this offseason than we did a year. I mean, that was obviously a problem we had. We dropped balls. So we have worked tirelessly trying to get better at that. We worked on ball disruption. We've just amped that up so much. It is showing up. We're seeing it. We're seeing the results, you know, of our hard work in the off season, and we've got to continue to do that.
Hold on the right side.
And I'm wondering what you've seen from DJ Hicks, you know, taking over a full-time starting role, I assume, and then beyond that, just how that interior defensive line has progressed.
Yeah, so, you know, DJ's obviously, I think last year he had a really good season. He's had a really good fall camp so far. I mean, he's got to be one of the better D tackles I've ever seen, you know. He's just twitchy, fast, strong, all that kind of stuff. With the guys that, you know, the young guys have done a good job, and then we brought in obviously a couple transfers. You know, it's different. You watch these transfers play in college football games, so you have a pretty good idea that, you know, we took them. They're pretty good players. So, you know, we've got some good competition, and we've got some good depth there. I think everybody that we took on the transfer portal ended up being what we hoped they would be. Good players that can play in this league. So I think we're in a pretty good situation inside.
Anything else for Coach? All right, thanks, everybody.